What I would say is do a little bit of research before you decide to open a second location. Look for competition. Look for who's there, who's the big dog there. Make some phone calls for pricing. I didn't think of any of that because I was so convinced myself that when I told my wife, listen, you're just gonna move there. I'm gonna copy and paste. We have everything. We got the website, we got the pricing, we got the systems. It's just gonna be a turnkey operation. And what was my surprise? Pricing totally different. Houses way bigger. So I had to readjust my prices. Not only that, I had to drop the prices because all the West Coast area, it's definitely more pricey than the East Coast.
Welcome to the Cleaning Journey podcast, where we talk about the real stories behind building cleaning businesses that actually work. I'm your host, Misael Avalos. I started my business back in 2018 from scratch, and I built it into a 7-figure cleaning company. Now I sit down with other cleaning business owners to share their wins, their losses, their struggles, and their experiences that have helped them grow. Whether you're just getting started or you're already scaling, this is your place to learn, get inspired, and also level up your business and life. Let's jump in.
My name is Cristobal Mondragon. I'm originally from Michoacan, Mexico. I've been living in the U.S. with my family and my wife and 3 kids. Well, my first 2 kids were born in Mexico, so they moved with me in 2006. We live for the most part in Seattle. And I worked different jobs really. My first job was a dishwasher, then a landscaper, construction. I eventually landed a job as a car salesman, and I like that profession. I really enjoyed talking to people, selling them cars and whatnot. And it was 2014 that my wife got a job at a cleaning company. And I remember like a month after she was working there, the owner sent a little note in English. My wife didn't speak English at the time, but the note said, if you get her an LLC to your wife, I can pay her as a subcontractor and I'll pay her more. And I said, that sounds pretty good. So I ended up opening an LLC for her. Not thinking much, right? It was just, she was going to get paid from 12 to 18. So it was like a big bump and it was worth it. Um, a month later, I remember I came back from the dealership and my wife says, hey, Chris, I think I know how to do this. How about we start the business ourselves? How about I quit and we start getting our own customers? I'm like, yeah, that doesn't sound appealing to me. I remember I told them no. I'm like, you're insane. We don't know how to run a business. We don't even know how to get customers. How about you stay there and then just keep working as a contractor? And so that was my response, right? But then she planted a seed in my head because I remember the next day I'm ruminating that suggestion at work. And I'm like, what if I create a little website? And what if I do this? And what if I'm like, you know what? I don't have to quit. I'm just going to create a little website and then I'm going to put some ads on Craigslist because I didn't know anything else at the time. And let's see where this goes. For the first, I would say good 3 months, everything was under the table, right? Cash, personal, write a check to my name, that type of deal. But eventually I started like actually tracking the numbers. I remember I created a spreadsheet and said, okay, this many jobs in, I ran a little report and I noticed she was bringing more money than I was. And she was already at home by 6 and I still had to stay until 8. I'm like, wow, there's money in this industry. You know what? Let's make it formal. Let's get the insurance. Change the name because the original name was Mendoza's Cleaning, right? It's just super simple. So yeah, fast forward to today, we have 2 locations. We have 22 employees in the Seattle location, and we have 4 here in the Atlanta location. My wife is in charge of basically scheduling. So she does the interviewing and then the scheduling. So she's in charge of that. And me, I'm in charge of marketing and operations. And my daughter, she's the office manager. So right, she's talking over the phone, doing in-person estimates. And so, yeah, it's a family-run business. And here we are, my friend.
That's amazing. How did Bumblebee come
Yeah,
alive?
well, it's funny story. That was not also the original name. So first name was Mendoza's Cleaning. And I remember when I said, you know what, let's do this legit. I remember saying, okay, who's our ideal customers? Like, well, the Americans. And there's many Mendoza's Cleaning, you know, Ramirez Cleaning, it's like the classic. And I'm like, let's separate ourselves from that. And after back and forth with my wife, we decided to call it Queen Bee Cleaning. So the idea was, the bees are always working, they're clean, and it had a good ring to it, right? Queen Bee Cleaning. But I made a terrible mistake. Like, if any your audience is listening to this, don't make this mistake. I did not trademark the name because I didn't know, and so I only registered the LLC at the state level. and we operated with Bumblebee cleaning for years. And it wasn't until I was gonna move to Atlanta that I said, well, you know what? Let me trademark the name. Since we're gonna now operating into states, I think it's a great idea to really have the trademark name. So when I apply for the trademark, it gets rejected because someone had registered the name literally 6 months before I did. Oh my God. I was like, what? And so at this time, I have a website that spent so much money into it. I have a lot of content into it, a lot of blogs, a lot of SEO already built into it. And I'm like, oh man, I don't want to lose that. So I said, what can I do that it doesn't have to change completely the names? We decided to change Queen for Bumble, right? So that's when we changed from Queen Bee Cleaning Service to Bumblebee Cleaning Services. Apply right away for the trademark. It went through, we got it. And so we had to rebrand everything. So I guess if you were planning to open a business, definitely take this. It's an extra step and it's not even that expensive. I just didn't think it through all the way. And so eventually, I had to spend more money rebranding, remaking the website, a whole bunch of stuff. So it's worth to trademark your company.
That's a good advice. Think like
Yeah.
we don't think about that until we have to get into a position, or when we get into a position of transitioning and going into multiple locations.
Mhm.
That's a good point.
That's
And
right.
yes, I agree with you. Being able to just kind of get all of those things done, trademark, LLC. If you operate um, the right way, then you have less headaches in the future, right? But it's a lesson that we learn, and yes, so having multiple locations, we were having a conversation before we started, and you were sharing a little bit about the transition on. You thought it was going to be like a turnkey type of transition from one state to another. Can you share a little bit about that and your experience on, or maybe advice if someone decides to go from one state to another, what should they look for?
That's a great question. What I would say is do a little bit of research before you decide to open a second location. Look for competition, right? Look for who's there, who's the big dog there, who make some phone calls, right? Ask, for pricing. I didn't think of any of that because I was so convinced myself that right. Even I told my wife, listen, we're just gonna move there. I'm gonna copy and paste. We have everything. We got the website, we got the pricing, we got the systems. It's just gonna be a turnkey operation. And what was my surprise? Pricing totally different. Houses way bigger. So I had to readjust my prices. Not only that, I had to drop the prices because, in all the West Coast area, it's definitely more pricey than the East Coast. There's a lot of competition. There's a lot of solo cleaners here that unfortunately they don't know how to price their service. So they leave cards at my home. Hey, a full house deep cleaning for $100. I'm like, what are you doing? It's like,
That's a good deal.
yeah, that's a good deal. That's a good deal. And so, I started noticing that, we start running ads because that's, the fastest way to get you going. Start running ads, paid ads on Google, and we get the phone to ring, but you get to the price part, but too expensive. I had a girl that can do it for this. And right, like anything, there's customers that are willing to pay for professional service and to have peace of mind, but also excessive competition, it does dilute, the quality. So that was one thing that I ended up facing. I also noticed that even though I'm in a location where customers pay less, the cost of marketing is the same. So Google charges you the same whether you're in Seattle or Atlanta or Florida or Alabama. They're gonna make their money. We had to adjust, right? We do a combination of in person. We go to apartment complexes here and to introduce ourselves like old school, right? I had to mix old school marketing with digital marketing. Seattle, totally different right now. Everything is digital. Most of our customers that are used to do everything on the phone. They give you the credit card over the phone, no problem. They even enter the credit card on the website. They don't even call you. Here, I had a hard time also getting credit card numbers over the phone. Hey, are you not coming to my house? Who's gonna be here? I don't feel comfortable giving my credit card. And it's just things like this that were shocking for me. Like, what's going on? So we had to readjust. Essentially, I had to drop my prices enough that we still make a profit, but be more competitive. I had to expand my service area. In Seattle, we only cover like a 10-mile radius, and we're fine. Like we're booked. I mean, we could especially expand more, but we're fine with where we are. It's a great location where we're located. Here, I had to spend 20 longer driving. And also the workers here is just totally different, right? Like I was telling you earlier, they want you to, to give them a ride, pick them up at home, take them to work and then bring them back. And so many different things that we had to adjust. Yeah, I would say if you're planning to open another location, take a little bit of time to research, right? Look who's the competitors. Call them, ask for pricing, compare your pricing that you currently have with the competition. And once that you have this, right, it's you have a better clarity of what you're gonna do. Me, I didn't think that. Honestly, I said no worries. I'm just gonna go, just gonna clean the house and just do everything. But no, it's we had to readjust, and so it is also taking longer to grow it. To give you an idea, our first year in Seattle, we did $195,000, and this is no experience, making a lot of mistakes, um, not knowing what I know now. And 10 years later, I have all this experience, all this knowledge, and here I think we did like $85,000 the first year, and you're really grinding. I mean, w-
Yeah, which is not bad. I'm sure someone's listening, like 85 for the first year.
mhm,
That's fantastic, right?
mhm,
But you're going from a headspace, an experience of, oh my goodness, like in Seattle, we did, completely different.
mhm,
And now, you're at 85. 85's not bad, but like you said, you were grinding. Did you
mhm.
have to go out there and clean yourself?
We had to still, kind of repeat all over the process, and especially at the beginning because we just couldn't find people that was willing to drive. Eventually, we end up finding good people now. But I would say the good first 6 months, me driving, my son driving, my wife driving, and yeah, we had to literally almost starting from scratch, but we're like totally different. I had to really kind of like forget about what work in Seattle. Like let's figure out how we're gonna make it work here, and then start, adjusting as we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now that you said, well, hey, call your competitors, see what they're pricing out there. Just look at the area, see, most important thing, the hiring, right? Like how are the cleaners in that area? Is there anything else that you would have done different? Are you uncertain about what you're doing in your cleaning business that's not taking you to the next level? Or you might feel like what you're doing is not the right things. It is okay. That's why I'm here. I help cleaning business owners just like you get the right answers, put good systems and processes to grow your business with confidence. Without confidence, you cannot be a business owner and lead your people. Click the link down below to schedule a free call. We'll talk all business and I can give you the right steps for you to take to give you that confidence back. I cannot wait to connect with you.
We're just definitely doing the research, for sure, because I had the pricing. I guess I brought the pricing from the West Coast to the East Coast, and they were hanging up on me when I was like giving the price. I'm like, "You're crazy!" And there's another $60 on Google LSA there, and there's
Yeah.
another $60, right? And I was so against, like, no, I'm gonna find the customers that pay. No, man, you really need to adjust. It's different. Also, expectations. My checklist from Atlanta is slightly different than the one in Seattle because here they want more. Or they have bigger houses, so they expect more from the service, and so their checklist is slightly different, just to accommodate to the expectations that customers here are used to.
Yeah.
So
So I'm sure you transitioned a lot of your systems and processes from one state to another, and you mentioned you've credited your success to systems. What does, if you can clarify, like let us know what systems mean to you in your cleaning business?
all systems are everything. I mean, systems beat everything. To give you an idea, when we started the cleaning business over there, I didn't even know about systems, right? Well, that was one of the things. So I was doing everything myself, and I'm a computer savvy, so I thought, okay, I can put it on Google Calendar, and I'm gonna use this app and whatnot. The more we started growing, every decision was it was handled by me. So I remember by year 3, we were making good money, but I was really burned out. I had turned a 9 to 5 job for a 24-hour job, and it was very. And now, and on top of that, right? Like you're working with your family, so there's customers who will complain a lot. Make my day horrible, And then, I had to talk to my wife, let her know, hey, there is this customer who complained about this. And it was just like, I was getting tired of it. And so, and I had all over I had some things on my notebook, some things on Google Calendar, some things on Google Sheets. So I was all over the place, right? All spread out. And I remember the first time I heard about systems, it was on a podcast, and there was this lady from Fort Collins, Colorado. What's her name? Gosh, it's been so long now. But anyway, she has a cleaning company called Five Star Cleaning, and she was talking about systems. She was talking about having an email system to nurture your leads. We all get leads all the time, and not everybody purchases from you on the first interaction, right? But if you have like an email list and you send them offers throughout the year, they come back. And so I remember I Google her and I call her and I say, "Hey, I heard your podcast. You were talking about, an email marketing system, like a scheduling system. Let me pick your brain." And I remember she said, "Sure, I'll help you set up some systems. It's gonna be 3K." Man, 3K at the time for me was like, "Jeez," but I see the value behind that. I'm like, if I can get that into my business, it's gonna free me so much time. And so I told my wife about it, and my wife was like, "No, 3K is a lot of money. What are you doing?" Blah, blah, blah. And I said, "Hold on, we need that." And yeah, the lady ended up helping me install it. At the time, the software was called Infusionsoft. I think now it's called Keep with K. So they changed the name, right? And it's literally nurturing system. So you put all the leads there, even customers who purchase from you, who actually become customers, you still nurture them in a different way, upselling them, right? Even to increase the ticket automatically. And the people who did not purchase from you, you put them in another sequence where, they're going to be getting reminders, offers, and whatnot. Or sales literally went from around 25K a month to like 40K. When I saw that, I saw my wife, see, like there was value there. So, and that was the first time I also understood the importance of finding mentors, right?
Mm.
Look for someone who's already where you want to be, and reach out to them. There's many people who are, pay them an hour of their time, or, and you can literally shorten the amount of time. I mean, there's a lot of people that I know, right, in the industry, and they're like, yeah, I can learn everything YouTube. I can learn everything by myself. It's free. Well, it's not free because you can pay with time or you can pay with money, right? And for me, time is more valuable, right? We can all make money, but none of us can create time. So in my case, I'll value the time much more, and I'll rather pay someone, to tell me how to do it. Hey,
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, that's a huge thing you said there. And the people that I've talked to, that I've interviewed, like the big dogs in the game, like they're always going to say, like, my success was due to mentorship. I
yeah,
got a mentor. I learned. I sped my success through learning from other people. And I think that's very important. I can relate to that. I could honestly say that I wouldn't be where we currently at in our business if it wasn't through me learning from the people that already did it. And
hmm
it's consistent mentorship. It's not just a one-time thing. It's consistently, and you can get mentorship in personal development, mindset, right? You can get it in systems and processes and scale. And it's a big thing. So I'm glad that you mentioned that, because I think a lot of people are stuck on, well, I'll just figure it out.
hmm
I'll just do my thing. I'll just watch some videos and then I can just figure it out at some point. And yeah, you could. And that can take you 3, 4 years
hmm
versus getting a mentor, and then it takes you half of that, maybe even less.
That's yeah.
You know, how do you currently keep your systems consistent across multiple locations?
Keep it simple, right? Like kiss, keep it stupid simple. Because that was another problem I had. Once I learned about systems, I wanted to create systems for everything. And then the problem with that is that when you onboard someone, there is a lot to teach them, right? There's just too many systems. So I just keep a systems, for scheduling, right? And how we're gonna schedule the jobs in a efficient way that we don't have to drive around as much. So the
Who do
system,
you use for who do you CRM?
Jobber. I use Jobber.
Shout out to
And
Jobber.
That's right. In a CRM, right? This is so Jobber is just for scheduling, that's it, invoicing, routing, and essentially assigning the jobs to the cleaners. But I use another one called Cleancore. And what Cleancore does, it complements what Jobber's missing. So, for example, uh, Mondays, Tuesdays, I can see my calendar, and there is empty spots throughout the week. What I like to do is I like to wait until Tuesday 4 p.m. because Monday and Tuesday we get calls, and then we start filling some of those spots throughout the week. But by Tuesday 4 p.m., if I still see that my week is fairly empty, I go to my CRM and I filter, 200 people from my contact list, and I send them an SMS to 200 people. And usually this SMS, it's a simple offer, right? Hey, we got some openings this week, and we want to keep our cleaners busy. So get $50 on any of our services if you reply yes to these steps. You send that to 200 people. I'm telling you, 20 people will take you on the offer. Now they'll reply yes. And now you have 20 jobs. You just put them on the calendar, right? So I love that because now I don't have to be waiting for the phone to ring. I can just go grab a bunch of leads that are sitting on my CRM. I send them a nice little offer. 10% of them take me on the offer, and then I fill my calendar. And so that's a second system that I use a lot. So Cleancore also allows me to send email marketing, but I tell you what, the trick is sending SMS. Most people ignore the emails, or they don't put the same urgency, right? They read it and they're like, I'll read it later. But a text, most people respond to you right there and then. So text is the way to go. Another one system is internal communication. Back in the day, we used to use WhatsApp, right? And for internal communication, the cleaners with the admin and myself. But the groups, you can only put so many people in a group chat, right? But then not only that, it just becomes very unorganized. And so what I end up finding for that is another software called Slack. So Slack, very similar to WhatsApp, but you can create channels, and I have a channel for pretty much every scenario. A channel for cancellations, a channel for new bookings, a channel for complaints, a channel for company updates, whatever's happening. Let's say we get a complaint that gets written on the complaints channel. I get to see what the complaint is about, or maybe the customer's complaining about we didn't clean the bathroom correctly, or we broke something, or whatever. It gets documented. So on our Monday meetings, we do every Monday we do meetings. I mention these mistakes so everybody see what happened, and it helps us to prevent from happening again. So that's another, right. So the system is the scheduling system, the CRM system, the internal communication system with the Slack, and the marketing system, right? You need to measure what are you spending, right? If you're putting, I don't know, $2,000 in ads, you need to measure how much return on investment you're getting. Um, uh, right? And then also test different channels, right? Yelp, Facebook, Instagram, Google, and then measure it. Read what channel brings you the best quality and then gives you the most amount of money. And then double down on the ones that work. If you don't measure it, you don't know what's going on. So you definitely need to keep an eye on your numbers. Keep
I
an
like
eye
that you
on
said that. I
cost
like that
per.
you said if you don't measure it, you don't know what's going on.
You're literally going blind, and then what happens? That's another thing. By sometimes you make decisions based on hunch, like I don't think it's working, and then you look at the numbers, it's actually working. But sometimes you have these ideas that, and I say this because my wife especially, she's very like, we should cancel this, this system or whatever. And I'm like, hold on. Let's take a look at the numbers, and we can see. Make the decision based on the numbers, not on your feelings.
Correct. How many text messages do you send out per month, like through your software for an offer?
I would say I would say under 1,000. Under 1,000, maybe 800, somewhere in that range.
Do you do that
Uh,
like a weekly offer? Because you said 200 people, right, all at once. You do that kind of weekly. Hey, this
mhm.
is an offer. Do you send them? So it's different people. Do you send them the same offer?
Different people. That is absolutely correct. To give you an idea, right? On Jobber, those are where actually paid customers, right? People who actually paid us at one point. Maybe they're recurring, maybe they're not. Maybe just purchase one time. We have about 10,000 contacts on Jobber, but in Cleancore we have, I think, 22,000 contacts. So that's the 10,000 from Jobber, but then another 12,000 from people who contacted me at some point for a quote for whatever they didn't purchase. So the key here is don't send the offer over and over to the same people because they will ignore you, and then actually that devaluates your right. So you need to be careful because you're constantly setting discounts. You're devaluating your services, and what happens if you send this offer to the same people? Next time they're gonna purchase from you, what do you think they're gonna ask for?
For that offer.
Additional.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
So you wanna be strategic about it. So send it to different people. And right, I just like I said, I only got like 200 people, and then the next week another 200, and then I just keep rotating it.
Yeah. That's good advice on how to text message because I think that a lot of people think that you got to do it weekly to the same client. And
No,
you
no
gotta
backfire.
oh, it would definitely backfire, and it's very important to think of it, and I'm sure you can agree, like, it's a game of macro, right? Like, you're playing the long game here. Like,
Hmm.
if you can send out 1 text message a month to that same client, you just kinda stay on top of mind instead of, doing it every week or every 2 weeks, and I'm 100% with you, like, I mean, if you're sending it out to 1,000 clients and you can get 10% of that, even 5% of that, like,
Hmm.
and you can do that every month, like the money that you will save on advertising. And then plus you can always keep your schedule filled up. And I think the biggest benefit is reoccurring is the name of the game, right? So if you get another opportunity at bat, then maybe you can juice up your reoccurring offer so that they could just stay on the reoccurring and you don't have to, keep chasing them for that one-time cleaning.
That's right. You're absolutely right. The recurring service is where the name is at, and that's where the
That's the
money.
name of the game. Talk to us a little bit about the reoccurring service. Like, how do you bring clients? Like, how do you bring a one-time client into your reoccurring services? Like, what are the things that you do that um, that create that success for you in the reoccurring game?
By offering discounts based on the frequency. I have a price for like a one-time cleaning, right? It's fairly high to where they're like, hey, I only want one cleaning. Of course, we can do one-time cleaning, but it's gonna be this much, right? And if we do it, like when we get someone to book most, I would say 80% of the calls that come through are people who are looking for a one-time job. It's very rare that you get a customer is like, RBA, I'm looking for a biweekly service, looking for a monthly service. They're very few. Most of them are one time, one time, one time. So we'll sell them high. And then what I was said, once that we do the cleaning, we really, we make the best effort to wow them, right? That's one part of the sale. If they can see the before and after, and they walk into their house and be like, "Whoa, that this is awesome, great! That's the perfect opportunity for you to sell it." We call them, after we do the service, we call them and just to make sure that everything went fine, just to get a review, right? So we ask for a review. And then that's when we say, hey, would you like to sign up for a subscription? And we call it a subscription, right? And there's a lot of subscriptions nowadays. So like, hey, would you like to subscribe to our service? We got these two options. If you sign up for a monthly service, there's actually no discount there because if you clean a home every 4 weeks, it gets dusty, it gets dirty.
It does.
And so, but I said, hey, if you sign up for bi-weekly, I'm going to give you 15% off of the normal price. So we knock 15% down and then you get priority clean. So, whenever you need us to come back, you always going to be a priority. But every 3 months, we offer a deep cleaning. But in reality, it's just the perception that they receive, right? If we're cleaning a home every 2 weeks, a deep cleaning is not going to cost me much time, right? So, but they think, oh, okay, I'm getting actually every 3 weeks a free deep cleaning at no cost. All you pay is like a normal cleaning, right? So they get priority cleaning. They get every 3 months. We get a deep cleaning for them, normal cost, like a regular. And that's it. If they go weekly, they bump that to 20% recording discount. And so that's how we able to convert. I would say out of 10 one-time jobs, we convert about 2 or 3 into recording. There's some people that just really don't want the recording, no matter what you tell them, like, "Oh, no, I'll call you when I need the service." And that's okay, right? But if you really pitch it to us as like a subscription, and then you offer them a discount, and then tell them, "Hey, you get a deep cleaning, no cost for," well, no cost, right? A regular price for a regular service. It's not really gonna cost you much money because the house it's being maintained. So it's not gonna be that much of a difference for you.
Yeah. Creating the offer of, and I'm all for the subscription model. It's everywhere. So being able to use that in the cleaning as well creates that VIP feeling that they are a part of your community. And
Mhm.
that's the important part. We call it memberships. So we like to call our clients our members. They get really special membership perks that people think I'm crazy, but it's really creates the feel of when I become a member with them, when I do the subscription, then I'm a part of something. And how do you continue nurturing your subscription clients to continue to stay with you? Like, how do you keep them engaged in your schedule? The Cleaning Journey podcast is brought to you by Jobber, the all in one CRM built for service pros. From scheduling and payments to quoting and marketing, Jobber makes it simple to manage your business and impress your clients. I use it every day, and it's one of the biggest reasons my business runs smoothly. Try Jobber today with the link in the description down below. Try Jobber today by using the link down below. You can get 14 days free, then 20% off for the next 6 months. You have nothing to lose.
With through email nurturing, really, it's once that they become a recurring customer, we have a sequence, right? That essentially this sequence is just sending them just holiday offers, right? The holiday offers, but then I really push for a referral system. So the referral system that I have is only exclusive for them. And essentially what it does is I give them $100 credit on their next cleaning, and then the person that they refer me, they get $30 off. Now, this one, I'll tell you my experience with it. Historically, we always had this referral system in place where I will give $30 off on their next cleaning for the customer, for existing customer, and $30 off for the new customer. And I rarely saw someone really taking action, right? To actually, yeah, we'll get a referral every now and then. This is recent. This is about 2 years ago that I was looking at my numbers, and we convert about 50% of our callers. Google charges me $50 per call, whether I sell the service or not. So if I convert 50% of them, that means I need to spend two leads, so $100 to acquire customers. Cost per acquisition is $100. And I'm thinking, instead of paying Google $100 I mean, for two calls, how about I leave $100 off to my cleaners, to my customers? It's a bigger value they see upfront, and in reality, it's going to cost me labor. So if I say if I am offering $100 off on their next cleaning, all this me is costing me labor. So essentially, I'm going to pay $50 out of my pocket, but I'm acquiring a new customer. So it's half the price through them that if I go through Google. And every time we clean their home, we send them the copy on the invoice, right? But on that same email, say, hey, Misael, don't forget about referral program. Get $100 off on your next cleaning when you refer your friends and family. And man, that's when we really see a shift on referrals. If you're getting $100 off on your any service you have, you're gonna be incentivized.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And I think that's a good point that you're making there. It's because we do the same. We do $100 off for the person that they refer and also themselves. So it's $200 that we do. We do that for realtors as well too. And it's a great incentive for them to. It needs to be worth it, right? Their effort
Yeah.
needs to be worth for them to do it. And people might think, well, hey, if I give $100 to the person for that first cleaning and then $100 to that's $200. Like, how am I going to make money? It's like when you change the perspective of you will just have to pay labor. The goal is to get your foot in the door so then you can sell them the reoccurring service.
Hmm.
And if you don't, then at least you have their data and you can send them a text message or an email. You can get a review. Like you said, right? When you do the follow up, get the review. The review is a very, very important thing.
Yeah.
When people talk about SEO and they want SEO is such this unknown thing that people think that
Mhm.
you just throw money at it and then all of a sudden you're searched. The most free SEO that you can get is reviews. So
Yeah.
get your reviews. And then, so if I can get a review, if I can get my foot in the door and pitch a reoccurring service, and I just pay for labor and my teams get a cleaning. I mean, yeah, my teams get hours for the cleaning. Like it is well worth
Yeah.
$100. And again, we're thinking the long game. right? We're
That's right.
thinking building that relationship. So yeah, that's very powerful that to be able to create these pretty much like no-brainer offers for
Mhm,
them
mhm.
to move forward.
That's 100%. That's right. And you really had to make a powerful offer. So like Alex or Moses said, right? Like irresistible offer, right? To make them
Correct.
feel
Yeah.
stupid to say not to it.
Exactly, exactly. Especially if you're playing the long game as well as a business owner, like you ain't in no rush. Like it's best to nurture your leads than like try to get the most money up front. Like, how can I get the most money in this cleaning? It's like, no, you want to build the relationship, build it,
Yeah,
give back. When you give, you receive.
that's right. That's
Yeah,
how it works.
and you're sowing. We see it as biblical
So
terms, like you're
mhm.
sowing into your clients, you're sowing into your data, you're sowing into, your members, your reoccurring clients, and then you will reap so
Yeah,
much down the road.
100%.
How do you ensure your customer experience stays consistent across all your locations?
Checklist sounds so silly, but it's checklist. What happened? You back in the day, my wife who was the lead cleaner, and she will train the you know the ladies to do it certain way. And we started noticing that customer will say, "Hey, if Sandra's not gonna be in the team, I don't want service." Right? They want Sandra all the time, and because the owner always gonna pay more attention, she's gonna have that attention to detail that no other cleaner is gonna have, and that became a problem for us because at one point there was a lot of customers who only wanted her, and I'm like, and I remember thinking this way. I remember I said, "I'm pretty sure the owners of Molly Maid or the Mary Maid are not cleaning themselves; they're sending people." Right, and then doesn't matter if they send Maria or Lupita or
Yeah,
whoever, the job gets done the same.
exactly.
So I started to, create what is checklist because before we used to do this mistake. We'll just go above and beyond. Every every cleaning was a deep cleaning, really, and we just clean everything. Right? Yeah, the customer gets wowed, right? Like wow. But the moment you send another team and they didn't do the same job as the previous one, they're gonna complain. So I'm like, yeah, we need to stick to the same, right? It's like a restaurant, right? Like, you put extra rice on one customer, next time they comes, and then they give you the normal rice. They're gonna be like, hey, what's going on? Same thing. So I have a checklist for every service. So we have standard cleaning, deep cleaning, and mobile. And on the app itself, right on Jobber, you can create this checklist. And essentially, the team leader is in charge of checking what service the customer booked. Is it a deep cleaning or it's a standard cleaning? And if they actually purchase any extras, for example, or they require the oven to be clean, right? They want to make sure and they click on it and then they sign on it. And if they cannot close the job if they don't fill out that checklist. So this way, it doesn't matter if I send A team or B or C or D, they have to follow the checklist, right? And I remember, I don't know where I heard this, but essentially that's when I'm like, aha, checklist is the answer. Pilots, right? Pilots on a plane, what do they do before taking off? They have a checklist. It's a paper and checklist, right? And if they don't finish, they don't take off. So this ensures that everything is the same over and over and over again. So I was saying checklist, even though they sound so simple, but that's our method of keeping things consistent. And then to enforce that, we have a channel on our Slack, for internal communication, and this channel is for photos. We don't take before photos, but we take after photos. And this has helped us in a couple ways. One is to make sure that they did a good job, right? We can look at the pictures. But then number two, back in the day, customers will call me like two days later, or maybe the day, or even the same day. But after, and they will say, "Hey, your cleaners didn't do a good job," and me, fearful of a bad review, I'm so sorry. Apologize. I'll give you a refund or a partial refund or whatever because I could not know. I had to believe the customer and having documented pictures, right? If I get a call from a customer and say, "Hey, I'm not happy with the service. Tell me what's wrong." Oh, they didn't mop the floors completely, so I want a refund. That's weird because I'm looking at the pictures and it looks good. Can you take some pictures, please? And once that you mention them that you have proof, don't worry about it. So just make sure that next time you do it right, okay? And so it helped us to prevent these picky customers who want to essentially either get a refund or get a re-clean and stuff like this.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's a very important system which you just mentioned is and you can do that through Jobber, take the photos and upload them on the client's profile because we use Jobber ourselves and I'm very much I tell my teams like let's cover our behinds, take some photos. And I teach my teams to look for damages. That's the first thing. When
Yeah.
you do your walkthrough with the client and you point out to the client any damages, and I want you to take the picture of that damage because if that damage, we get blamed for it, and it's a damage that could have been caused through cleaning, if it looks like that, I do keep my teams accountable. I say, you're going to pay 50% of that. So
Mm-hmm.
do you want
Yeah.
to pay 50% of it or are you going to take a picture and upload it in our system? Right.
Yeah.
So pictures are very important. I'm with you on that. Another key thing too is it's like you mentioned, like, hey, they didn't clean the kitchen, but you have a picture of the kitchen. And
Mhm.
if you can have the before and after, that's such a huge help too. But what we've had, Chris, is like it's saved us from buying a handful of ovens. People will complain, "Hey, my oven is scratched."
Uh-huh.
And if you get an oven scratch, I'm interested in hearing like how you deal with it, but like I'm like, okay, first thing is we need to get our field supervisor out there and check it out.
Mhm.
Uh, and then actually the first thing is, do we have any pictures? And then second, go do that. We've because my team, I got them to ingrained that damages is what I need them to look for. We've
Mhm.
saved our behinds from buying a handful of ovens because we have the photo and then it
Uh-huh.
has the timestamp of the photo. And we're
Uh-huh.
like, hey, that was already there. We'll send you the photos. And
Uh-huh.
every time they're like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know it was there.
Yeah.
Every time, like they just completely drop their guard down and they're just like, "Oh, I didn't even know it was there. Thank you so much for sending the photos." So, photos will cover you. Um
100%, man.
and I'm a believer. You gotta get your teams to take photos of any damages and keep them
Yeah.
accountable if they don't. Hey, real quick, do me a solid. Just like, subscribe, and share with another cleaning business owner. We want to grow this community together because when we all learn together, the industry becomes stronger. Let's get back to our guest.
That's right. 100%. And also, I get those from time to time, right? These customers who will, for example, the last one, it was a guy who we did a move out 3 months ago. And yeah, that was on Monday. Yeah, Monday, we get an email from the guy and says, send the guy is sending us an invoice of $1,000 of a flooring company who gave him an estimate to repair some
Some grout?
watermarks.
Okay.
And I said, "Well, hold on." He's like, "Yeah, man, I was renting this house, and you guys did a move out for me, and now the landlord said that you guys damaged it. So here's the invoice of the flooring company." I'm like, "Oh, hold on, Tiger." I said, "Thank you for sending me this, and we're fully insured. So let me tell you what's going to happen. So I'm going to call my insurance, and they're going to send an adjuster, and the adjuster also going to do an assessment. And if the adjuster believes that we didn't do the job, I mean, we didn't do the damage, we're not going to cover it." The moment I said, like we're going to send, I'm going to open the claim, but then just so you know, the insurance is not just going to pay money. They'll also do the research on their own, and if they see that that's an existing damage, they can tell, right? They're gonna hire their own professional. That's insurance fraud. The guy said, "You know what? Don't worry about it. I'm just gonna pay it myself." Of course, he's the one that's supposed to pay.
Wow.
But I'm telling you, man. Like usually when I talk about, you know what? That yeah, we'll for insure. So what's gonna happen? I'm just gonna contact my agent. We're gonna open a claim. But just so you know, like, they're gonna send their own professionals to do an assessment, and then insurance fraud.
It's so crazy, right? How like some people just really, they really test. They
Yeah.
test. They want to get things out of it and it's like, man, like that's why it's so powerful to really ask really good qualified questions to really understand who you're dealing with and get your team to really do their part in the walkthrough to make sure that like look for things, you know what I mean? Like we're a team here. Like we're a
Mhm.
company and as a company we need to move forward together. Like if there's a damage and we have to pay for it, like that's out of the company's money and that stops us
Mm,
from giving back to you guys on
yeah.
uniforms, company events and things like that. Cuz yeah, people will just take advantage. It's so
Oh, they
crazy,
do.
bro.
Yeah, yeah, I'm telling you, like, I've had a couple of things already in this, 11 years of being a businessman. I've seen a thing or two,
Yeah.
and so, yeah, it's, you have to use, like you said, cover your butts, document
Yeah.
everything. Pictures definitely help.
Yeah.
In this case, or the pictures help because, when they finished the job, we had the pictures. There was no damage there, and so what I think ended up happening, this guy went back and, he maybe mistakenly opened one of the faucets, and then they left. So the water was running, and then the water, stayed there for a little bit. But we didn't do it. But the guy wanted us to pay for it. He's like, yeah, no, it doesn't work like that, my friend.
And you guys heard it here. That's now you know how to deal with customers that want you to pay something for something that you guys didn't do. You know, use
Mhm.
your insurance, and that's the best way to do that. If it's $100, $200, as long as you get proof, then great. You know,
Look,
we're here to make it
and
right.
if you do, if you know that your cleaners did damage it, right? I have this rule: if it's under $500, I pay it out of pocket. Even
Me too.
$600, I'll rather pay it out of pocket than going through the insurance because the insurance will go up, right?
Yeah.
I'll do the insurance if it's something that really, it it's over $600.
No, me too. And another thing too, it's like customers need to understand that like because I've had a couple instances where a client wanted us to in this sense a client was claiming that she missed jewelry. She had
Of
jewelry
course.
missing in her home,
Yeah.
right? And I felt so bad. I mean, it was just this older lady and I went to go talk to her and she was like, "Nope, yep, it was your team. It was your team." I got the insurance involved. The insurance was like, because you don't have proof that the company took it. You don't have video proof. You don't
Uh,
have any, like, we're not going to pay for it. And I'm just
mm,
like, insurances are savages. Like,
they
they want a video. They want you to show a picture before we arrived and a picture afterwards. So that's another thing too. Hey, like we would love to make sure this is done right. Just know that the process with the insurance company, they are going to want proof of the damages,
yeah.
especially if it's over $1,000, right? Things like that.
Mhm.
Because yeah, and it's sad that sometimes you can't believe people. It's sad, but you just gotta, at the end of the day, wear your business owner hat and understand that, hey, you're gonna do your part to try to make it right. But at the end of the day, you're gonna go through the portals the right way to get it done, right? And not
That's
get
right.
taken advantage of. You just can't say yes and start paying for all of these things. That's not how it works. And if you are
That's
getting
right.
a lot of damages, then there's something broken in your system that is just causing that, and that's your fault. So, what's the most common mistake, Chris, that you think cleaning companies make when it comes to customer service? Are you uncertain about what you're doing in your cleaning business that's not taking you to the next level? Or you might feel like what you're doing is not the right things. It is okay. That's why I'm here. I help cleaning business owners just like you get the right answers, put good systems and processes to grow your business with confidence. Without confidence, you cannot be a business owner and lead your people. Click the link down below to schedule a free call. We'll talk all business and I can give you the right steps for you to take to give you that confidence back. I cannot wait to connect with you.
This is a very common, and you can test this yourself. It's not answering the phone. Every 3 months, what I do, I call my competitors. One, because I want to see what the prices are. If we're still there. It's amazing that we're 2025 and you call a business and they don't answer. I'm like, what?
It is
Uh,
wild.
that, or if you go to the website and you send a message, you get a response like the day after. And I'm like, guys, people are used to instant gratification. You're hungry, you go to Uber Eats, you press a button, you get your food, right? And a car, you get an Uber. I mean, people are used to get instant gratification. And if you're not accommodating your business to serve this type of customer, you're not gonna be in business for much longer. I'm telling you. So customer service, that's one of the things that I'm very proud of. We always answer the phone. we text right away. If we get a text, we answer right away. Emails within 5 minutes, right? And I have a team of VAs. I have 3 people. This Mike, he's from Venezuela. Gina, also from Venezuela, and Max. Max is also from Venezuela. So one person takes care of Monday to Friday, the Georgia location. The other person is taking care of the Seattle location, which is Monday to Friday, and then Max takes care of both locations on Saturday and Sunday because there's not that much traffic. But from like 7 in the morning to 9 p.m., man, if you call me, we answer. And I think that's one of the things that we differentiate ourselves from more
Mhm.
majority of other cleaning companies. If you call us, we answer. Competitors, only the big companies, they also have someone answering, but I've seen these like most smaller companies. I think what's happening really is just the owner is cleaning, and because
Yeah,
they're
for sure.
cleaning, they don't answer the phone. I'm
1000%.
like, what's going on? Like, invest in a VA. I mean, you can hire someone in any part of the world for half of the price that you will pay someone here. Why
Yeah.
don't you do that?
Well, that's the thing. Like, I mean, you nailed it on there. When I first started this business, I called 55 companies and I got a handful of calls, like a handful of
That's it.
calls back
Uh-huh.
and answers. We're talking about more than half,
Yeah.
that did not answer the phone.
It's
I had people like answering the phone while they were driving, and I heard their kids in the back. I heard most of them were doing the cleaning. They were like, "Hey," and they were very honest and transparent. "Hey, I'm currently cleaning. Give me a second. Let me call you back." Whatever it is, and I get it. And I don't want to bring shame to those people because like that's how I started. I answered the phone while I was driving. I answered the phone while I was cleaning jobs, but if I was in that position now, I would just hire a call center. There's a call center that because we're 24 hours. And because I'm with you, I have 3 VAs as well, but I have them from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. our time. And then 6 p.m. is where our call center activates and we pay $1 a minute. But they
Mhm.
can be on the phone for 6, 7 minutes. And what they're doing is they're getting all of the client's information and then we call them the next
The
day.
next day. Yeah, that's very
Yeah.
smart.
So if we think about, cost per click, cost per call, it's about $7, $8. But in the morning, we already have all that information because there's people that want to, 7, 8 o'clock, they're scrolling, they get, notification about something and the feeling of that they need to hire, they're like, oh my God, we're going to move out next week. We need to hire a cleaning
Yeah,
service,
yeah.
those last minute people. So hiring a call center, um, and the one that I could refer, and I don't get paid for it. It's specialty answering service, SaaS, 24/7 English speakers. They hire people from America and they're trained for customer service. And you just give them they follow your script, they follow whatever, you get the right questions. My team in the morning, because we use Jobber, we see all of the requests in the morning. We know, okay, hey, these came from SaaS. We call them
Mhm.
up. Hey, Chris, we got your information from last night. We got a 3 bedroom, 2 bath. You're interested in baseboards and blinds. You want to get your cleaning next week. Hey, we actually have that availability. Did we miss something? No, everything's good. Okay.
Mhm.
Well, hey, it's $300.
Yep, yep, yep. I love that.
And we
I
get
love that.
we get deals because I'm with you. Like customer service, being able to answer the phone. And that's crazy because like so many people is like, well, hey, my business is not growing or I don't get enough leads. But when you do get leads, you're not taking advantage of them.
That's
Right.
right.
And it's a big mistake. So I think that's a really good point there, and I hope a lot of people got value out of that because yeah, customer service is number one. You want to be able to get back to them faster because if you can't get back to them within 2 minutes of them submitting a request form, if you don't have automations for that, later on in the game, wherever you are, get to the point where you have automations so you can get in front of these people faster because you have a 40% chance of getting actually not even that. Sorry, that's a wrong statistic. It's 310% chance of winning the deal if you call them within 2 minutes.
100%. That's right. Yeah, you had to really get on those leads right away.
Right
If
away.
you don't, they're gonna go to the next. next
They're
competitor.
just gonna call people. They're just gonna call 3, 4 people, and the winner answers the phone faster. I have a question for you. Where do you see your company and the cleaning industry heading in the next few years? Now that we have like AI and now it's, a lot easier to start a business. Like, where do you see your company and the industry heading?
Well, it's definitely a growing company. I mean, I remember when I started, friends, even family told me, why are you opening a cleaning business? There's a lot of competition here. What are you doing? And I'm telling you, man, this industry, it grows year after year, especially the new generation, man. They're not gonna clean. They
Yeah.
need and they, they make good money, they're gonna pay someone to do it for them. So I would say if you're thinking about it or you think that your business is not growing or not, that's just mindset. I mean, the industry grows every year exponentially. So you just need to figure out how to get more eyeballs on your business, how to make the phone ring. Like I was telling you earlier, one of the things I'm also doing, because I avoided it for the longest time, it was the commercial cleaning. And the reason I was avoiding the commercial cleaning is because my experience wasn't residential, right? We charge a flat rate, but that flat rate is based on the hourly rate, right? So we charge about $60 per hour per person. So when I will get a commercial lead, I will try to sell them at the same price. They will, you know, tell me no. And I'm like, why would I go and clean a gym for like $30 an hour when I can just clean a house for $60 an hour? But one thing I didn't understand at the time, and this is a good friend of mine who's named Ricky Regalado. He has a massive commercial company out of Chicago. He makes 50 million a year, just commercial. And then I
Wow.
remember he invited me to his podcast and he's like, Chris, if you're making seven figures cleaning homes, you can make a killing on commercial. And I remember I said, man, I don't know about that. And like commercial is very cheap. He's like, I know it's the rate is lower, but you get to bill them more hours. Like if you get a bi-weekly customer, that's a great customer, but there are not that many. And weekly customers, they're very rare. But a commercial customer, it's every week at least, sometimes 5 days a week. So even though, yes, you get to charge less, you get to bill them more hours. And I'm like, huh, I didn't see it that way. And so I started getting like, into learning how to price it correctly. The hardest part of the commercial, right, is just because there's no business that is the same as other building, it's hard to give quotes over the phone. So you have to go in person. You have to measure. You have to ask. You have to see what type of floor they have. Is it carpet? It's a concrete. It's a vinyl. There's too many variables. But if you go and then you give them the quote, a commercial customer can easily pay you 5K, even more per month. So over the last year, we've been really trying to start getting my commercial customers, right? Keep the residential because the cash flow is faster, right? You do the service, you get paid right away. Commercial, it's a little slower. You have to do the service, you invoice them, and then you have to wait 15 to 30 days to get the payment, right? So at the beginning, this is a little slow, but the amount of money that you can make is significantly higher. And on top of that, residential customers are very picky. I'm pretty sure you get this call, hey, there's a hair on my bathtub, right? There's like these little things and commercial cleaning, you will have to really do a terrible job for them to cancel you.
It's usually miss the trash.
Yeah, that's
That's
it.
usually, hey, they forgot the trash under that one desk that's all the way in the corner in the back.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. So I would say, if you're planning to open one, do it. There's no better time than right now. I'm telling you. And then, like I said, there's many type of niche within the cleaning. You can do residential, you can do Airbnb cleaning, you can do commercial cleaning, you can do restaurant cleaning, you can do just window cleaning. There's a tons, right? Like just a lot to go after.
I'm with you. I'm with you. And I'm actually looking what is the revenue in the cleaning industry. And I think it's like stupid numbers.
Yes, yearly. Combined between commercial and residential is in the billions year
We're
over
gonna
year.
look. It is, geez, it is $415 billion back in 2024,
I'm telling you, this is a
and
big
it's
industry.
projected to grow to about $616 billion by 2030.
Yeah, yeah. So Like I said, this is no better time than jump on this
Yeah.
industry.
And it's honestly, as long as you focus on the things that we talked about today, right? We focus on CRM, how to attract in the right client, putting the right systems in place for quality and customer service. Like those are very, very important topics. And I appreciate you, Chris, for sharing that. I do have a rapid fire round. So in this round, what we do is I ask you 5 questions and you just answer them in one word or in one sentence.
Okay, I'll try.
All righty. Systems or people, which comes first?
Systems,
Hire slow or fire fast?
hire slow,
Customer service in one word.
excellence. You have to
Best tool. What's excellence to you?
excellence. Smile when you talk to them. They can feel that, man. Or you're gonna be, thanks for calling Clean Me. How can I help you? No, thank you for calling Clean Me Cleaning. How can I make you smile today?
Yeah.
Big
Yeah.
difference.
They can read, they can sense that there's someone's not having a good day.
That's right. And that
Bet
that means a sale or not.
1000%. Especially if the other person that they call has a better attitude,
Yeah.
they're gonna definitely go there.
Oh,
Best tool or app for running your business.
I was a jobber. I couldn't live without jobber.
I'm with you. I use Jobber. I've used it for five years now, and I'm an advocate for it. One lesson every cleaning business owner needs to learn.
It's a tough one because there's so many, but I will say create systems before you scale.
Very, very important. Create the proper system so that you make less mistakes and you can scale from there. Cristobal, thank you so much, brother. I appreciate you sharing all of this fire advice and getting to learn about you. You know, this is the first time we meet and we've had a great conversation before the podcast. And I wish you the best, brother. I will pray
Thank
for
you.
your family. And
Me too, my
again,
friend.
I do appreciate you sharing all of this. So, yeah, thank you so much for listening on to the cleaning journey. And we'll catch you on the next episode. If you got value out of this episode and you took some notes, that is fantastic. You're one step closer to success. Now, do me a favor and share it with another cleaning business owner so that we can all learn together. My goal is to bring real stories from real cleaning business owners so that we can grow this industry together. So if you'd like that, please like and share, and I would really appreciate it. And I'll see you on the next episode.